Hello, and welcome back to Coin Lady channel. Most of the chart experts I pay attention to think the worst is over. The other day, the value of XRP in Bitcoin fell to as low as $25,000, or around 46 cents. However, the majority of analysts, or at least the ones I pay attention to, seem to believe that the market has already reached its local low. Then, what is it that is causing this market to grow? To illustrate, consider this headline from a crypto newbie: top expert says narratives cannot drive XRP price. Sure, tell me what it is. And then there was also this, but please don't share this information with any Bitcoin maximalists you know. However, here's another report from the XRP market's iron grip: whereas Bitcoin and ETH saw outflows of $73 million, XRP investment goods saw $700,000. So, I know that 700,000 isn't that big when compared to the massive amount of institutional money fleeing for the exit from the two market cap giants out there, Bitcoin and ETH. That 700,000 inflow for XRP is not as small as it may sound. It's not a terrible premise. Oh, and by the way, another reason that I firmly believe that the best is yet to come is obviously the XRP legal clarity here. But I think what will be another major real-world catalyst that isn't just simply a narrative is off the spot Bitcoin ETFs. An article from Cointelegraph and all sorts of platforms of course covered this today, but Franklin Templeton files for spot Bitcoin ETF. So, another company has applied for a Bitcoin exchange-traded fund, ETF, on the futures market. Now I'm going to tell you that the aggregate amount of assets managed by the companies that have reported this is absolutely mind-boggling. The impact on the cryptocurrency market cap would be exponentially greater if even a small fraction of that were to enter the crypto realm. But before we go any further, let me make it perfectly clear that I am not a financial expert and am not giving any form of financial advice. Moreover, you know that you shouldn't act on my advice to buy or sell anything. As a pastime, I like discussing various aspects of cryptography in video form on YouTube. And for lark's sake, as of the time this was uploaded, XRP was trading at 48 cents Bitcoin, or slightly less than $26,000. But again, very recently, as I'm sure most of you are well aware. At one point, XRP was worth only 46 cents, and Bitcoin had dropped to around $25,000. This caused widespread fear. I didn't think so. I couldn't have cared less. As a matter of fact, I just published the following tweet on the platform formerly known as Twitter. When XRP was 10 cents in 2020, I wrote and held. I was really weakened, but I slept through it all. You think you can make me laugh for 47 cents? Keep at it, you bears. And to tell you the truth, I was actually discussing this in 2020. When the price of XRP dropped to around 11 cents, I made the decision to invest. And it didn't last long at all. XRP's 10-cent price tag did not last forever. However, I switched to the buy option and managed to get XRP for 15 cents, a new record low for me. And I just couldn't get myself to think that XRP's downward trend meant it will always be undervalued. And right now, where I am, my mind is exactly the same. I haven't changed my mind on this either, at least not yet. A future zero value for XRP or a new all-time high is the only possible outcome of this wager. Furthermore, this is simply the process of establishing prices. This is what I think as well. Moreover, XRP is the cryptocurrency holding the bulk of my portfolio. As I mentioned before, the vast majority of individuals and the majority of trade analysts that I follow believe that the worst isn't in fact. If you haven't already, I highly recommend watching the most recent video from one of the blockchain community's biggest proponents, where he explains that the crashing structure is finished and that this is yet another sign that the market has bottomed. But I constantly encountering this attitude here. That's why I agree with those who predicted earlier this year that we'd see a reversal to the November lows following last year's FTX crash and the arrival of $12,000 Bitcoins, and so on. That's not it at all, I promise you. Also, I'm aware that some people are still downhearted that we didn't witness a new all-time high of XRP after the coin received legal clarification. However, this is hardly the end of the world by any means. To me, it's not worth putting too much stock into anything that doesn't imply much on its own. And let me tell you why. However, allow me to immediately begin the article. I've spoken quite widely over the years on the idea that top experts do not believe that narratives can drive the price of XRP. This happens frequently when price activity is taking place, such as with, significant jumps up or down. That's why, it's said, and I suppose that makes sense. Markets tend to fluctuate rapidly since true news events do occur on occasion. In reality, the opposite is true. The reason for this is that everyone is following everyone else's lead, and as a result, the lease price for different assets will start to trend in the same direction. And it keeps on going that way. However, I do not believe that this is the case in many situations. Therefore, whatever is going on must be the reason for that. However, you may discuss XRP's transparency in terms of something that would be maintained anyway. The story itself wasn't necessarily going to be the most important part, rather, it's the fact that XRP has legal clarity that will cause more money to flow into the currency over the long term. On July 13th, the XRP price made its first significant upward surge, and it was exciting to watch it nearly double in value within a few short hours. But look at all that joyousness in the area. In the end, it won't make a difference. This is more like free XRP. Therefore, in the future, when the market does run and people join euphoria, market players enter euphoria, which I believe will happen again, at some time, anyway, that is when it matters most that XRP is legally clear. Here, then, is Benjamin Cowen's take on X in this piece. Extremely well known among cryptography experts. That's why he set up a channel for himself on YouTube. He is well regarded as a credible member of the chart community. This is what he had to say about XRP. As of just yesterday, all of XRP's gain from the SEC versus Ripple case has been erased. The market is driven not by stories, but by the availability of funds. Okay. In a broad sense, I agree with it. And so, a couple of things. It makes no difference that XRP has entirely retraced from its massive rise to the upside, and when it got up to 9,093 cents, whatever it was, it doesn't matter. The fact that XRP is trading at a greater price today than it would have been without that legal certainty lends credence to my claim. Thus, there was still a financial incentive to find a resolution to this issue. You're only thinking about the immediate future. Let me rephrase what he says here about liquidity as the real force behind the market. How about the age-old economic principle of supply and demand? So, what do you think of that? What about when demand skyrockets years from now? So that's when costs go up, right? Perhaps it is just that easy. Furthermore, I anticipate a rise in demand for XRP for a variety of reasons. However, that is of little concern just now. It's nice to hear some good news in the middle of July. After 2.5 years of Kim Jong-un's bluster, I couldn't agree with you more. My point is simply that the events of the future are more consequential than the decisions made on July 13th. That's exactly the point I'm making. That's going to be the main factor pushing the market forward. So then the question arises, is the worst really over? To be honest, I can't say for sure. Many chart analysts, especially those working with blockchain technology, present arguments that can be quite convincing. It is intriguing to observe the behavior of institutional capital in regards to XRP. When comparing Bitcoin and ETH to retail speculators, it's interesting to see the $700,000 inflows recorded by crypto-basic XRP investment products, while Bitcoin and ETH record $73 million in outflows. Also, the title pretty much sums up the entire story, so I won't bother reading it to you. To reiterate, the data found on CoinShares is not to be trusted. Now we'll focus on the information they produce and provide on a regular basis. Again, I get that $700,000 is a rather small number in the grand scheme of things, but when compared to Bitcoin's $73 million in outflows during the same time period, it's sort of great to see that, right? And again, this is on an institutional level, so I think that on an institutional level people broadly get it, but the best is yet to come, and you can think I believe the spot Bitcoin ETF, and so like when the SEC lost that lawsuit with Grayscale and there was a pop in the market. Like I was saying, it's a different issue altogether. However, on July 13th, the news of the SEC versus Ripple case prompted a pop and price for XRP, and Bitcoin even followed suit, which made everyone very pleased. But is that story the one that will end up being the most significant? In fact, the SEC is already losing the struggle against cryptocurrencies, particularly with respect to spot Bitcoin ETFs, because the law is now clear. Therefore, I enjoyed the splash of color in the monochrome report. That isn't what will make a difference in the end. What will matter when these proposals are finally approved? And then what counts is the quantity of money that comes in as a direct result of that. According to a recent report from Cointelegraph, on September 12, asset management Franklin Templeton filed with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, in order to begin offering a spot Bitcoin ETF. Grayscale Investments has filed an S-1 registration statement to convert its Bitcoin futures ETF into a spot ETF, following a court ruling on August 29 and the SEC's delay in making a decision on spot ETF applications from WisdomTree Valkyrie Fidelity VanEck that was in Invesco on August 31. Shares of the fund, which would be structured as a trust with Bitcoin held by Coinbase and cash held by Bank of New York Mellon and administered by the fund's managers, would trade on the CBOE-BZX exchange. The SEC has until October 16 to make a decision on the application. Perhaps it will be delayed, as seemingly everything else is, but they can only put off processing these applications for so long. We will soon know the outcome of your application for the position at BlackRock, in which I am quite interested. Nevertheless, the absolute latest they can delay a decision is March. I'm just happy with where I am in life, because we've already beaten the vast majority of organizations and people to the punch. Indeed, that is the crux of the subject at hand. But look at all of these businesses. BlackRock, Fidelity, and Franklin Templeton are just some of the firms that have filed for a Bitcoin spot ETF, and their combined AUM is being tracked in a Bitcoin for Freedom account on X. The Invesco Galaxy WisdomTree is the latest and greatest. Invest Bitwise on a global scale with VanEck and the Valkyrie. Then he made the observation that he had just tallied up all of their AUM. The whole sum equals $17.7 trillion. Okay, so now we know how much money is involved in cryptocurrencies. The market cap is just over $1 trillion. Now, keep this in mind. A total of $885 billion could be invested in cryptocurrency if only 0.5% of the funds under management were to be transferred into crypto investments. That's over $1 trillion worth of wishful thinking, with no guarantee that it will ever come true. Even if that took place over a longer time frame, perhaps 2 or 3 years, the resulting sum of money would be close to the current market cap of all cryptocurrencies, about $885 billion at the time of writing. However, it's even superior to that, because of the multiplicative effect that high demand has on a market. When you add $895 billion to the current market cap, that's not where the money comes from. Everything's going to get bid up in price, so don't even think about it. Due to the scarcity of these resources, conflict is inevitable. Therefore, that will have a multiplier effect. Investing $850 to $5 billion into cryptocurrency would bring the total investment close to $1 trillion. Can you imagine what will happen if that has a multiplication impact of, say, a few times that amount? Is there a chance it might go up to 6,789.10? We can make educated guesses, but I won't pretend to know for sure. However, when sales prices begin to rise as a result of the aforementioned factors and the higher interest that would follow from that money streaming in, retailers will take notice. And the floodgates have opened. In the meantime, I'm laughing because this is what we've been waiting for. Some folks are probably freaking out because XRP dropped to 46 cents. This made me laugh out loud. Sorry about that. It's not that I intend any malice, I've been there. But I've been here for about 6 years now. And I am well aware that the fluctuations in the short-term prices mean nothing. Simply because I have a stake in the outcome piques my attention. I enjoy keeping tabs on it. Surely you all share my sentiments. However, it's ultimately irrelevant. I can't wait for what's to come here. Things are going to become worse before they get better. It's exciting to see that the majority of the analysts I've been following agree that the local market has bottomed out. That's it, proponents of blockchain technology have said. Now go watch his video. The structure has finished collapsing. In your opinion, what will happen now? Let's just say I have a positive outlook. Okay, so let's say that. I don't claim to be a financial expert. Nothing I say should influence any transactions you make. Please like and subscribe my channel. See you later, bye.